Today we have a story out of Detroit where a husband and wife, they've been going through it thanks to this horrible system where a woman was allowed to walk into the court, put this man on her child support papers, but there was just one problem. He never met the baby, he never even met the mother, didn't know her, never spoke to her, no contact with her whatsoever. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Detroit, if you're watching from the D, let me know below. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Kelly, thank you. One man's life going through some unnecessary legal drama. This after receiving a letter that he had fathered a child with a woman he'd never even met. Now vindication of sorts. It's a follow-up to a story I brought you earlier this year on his legal fight and what comes next.
She don't know me. How do you just put my name down? How do you just put anybody's names down? I don't know her, never seen her. Still to this day, haven't talked to her. And it just proved out that the baby has no ties to my name. Thankfully, the lady did bring the child in to get tested. And that's all I needed to happen.
This letter from friend of the court reads in part, "Dear Mr. Smith," enclosed is a copy of the genetic test results, excluding you as the father.
Let's just set the record. I trust my husband because I know his character. Man of integrity.
I would like to say relief, but it's kind of like confirmation, really, because I already knew that I had no ties and no links to this child or this woman, and to have that letter come to my house, it was a little unnerving, but not from the standpoint of being caught up in something. It was a little unnerving that a letter like this could come to my house having no legitimacy to it.
Can you imagine the stress he was under? He had the burden to prove to his wife and the court that this child wasn't his. He didn't even know the lady, never met her. He had to convince his wife that he did not cheat on her. This could have ruined his whole marriage. But thankfully, his wife was level-headed. She believed him and worked with him to get the situation figured out in order for her husband's names to be cleared.
We first brought you the story of D'Angelo Smith in late January when he presented some wild allegations against friend of the court in Berrien County. The initial letter sent to his home stated a woman who we are not naming alleging him to be the father of her daughter, a child between the age of 1 and 2 years old.
She's a stripper from Detroit. We had a one-night stand at some hotel that we supposed to been and went to, and this is a story that was told to me.
While playing the waiting game for the alleged mother to bring in the baby for a DNA sample, the school where D'Angelo Smith teaches received an inquiry for possible garnishment if things did not go in his favor.
Where it made it not something that was being alleged, now it's something that's being taken into action, and there's no paternity been established.
And I don't understand how this woman can lie on this man and put his name all in the court system, but her name can't be mentioned. And then how embarrassing is this? He's a school teacher. They're sending these papers up there to the school. The ladies up there working in the office, you already know they talked about him and was whispering about him, telling everybody who came in the office, Mr. Such and Such, he cheated on his wife, he got this baby. Yeah, we got this child support garnishment letter. He cheated on his wife. It's some woman. And then this elaborate lie that this woman made up. But I'm not surprised she's a Jezebel.
But clearly, these test results confirm that to no longer be the case.
With that being said, strong marriage or not, clean past or not, that's a very tough letter for anyone to receive.
Absolutely.
Without any proof.
Absolutely, it is. It is. The main things that they have to provide to the state of Michigan is a name and a birth date and where they live. That's easy information for someone to gather off of Google, off of Facebook, off of any kind of social media platform.
Yeah, she's right. It's easy to find that information.
People who have checkered past, who have done things in the past, who have, stepped out and did things that was unbecoming of a real man, right? And so But they've changed and they've cleaned up their act and they've gotten better, which all of us have the opportunity of doing or getting better. But a letter like this coming to that house, a man that has changed his ways, that has walked in a different direction, this letter could be absolutely devastating because of what you've done before.
We made several calls to lawmakers in Lansing who are familiar with this particular topic to get some answers.
It's very unfortunate, but paternity fraud is not a unique, unusual situation in Michigan.
Senator Jim Runstead tells me he's been pushing for new legislation on the matter during the past 8 years, saying right now there's no penalty for lying.
Senator, what was the opposition for not passing this kind of legislation?
Well, maybe it would hinder mothers who don't want to name a particular guy or they made a mistake, but you had to knowingly name the wrong person. It becomes emotional stuff.
Respectfully, to mandate that DNA testing for the child is conducted first before a letter is sent to someone's home alleging they may be the father of a child regarding a woman whom they have never met, doesn't that seem like common sense type of legislation?
And this is why the court should be sued and that woman should be sued as well. Why would they send a letter to this man's job about garnishment if they haven't even established that he was the legal father and confirmed DNA testing? It's because they don't care if they destroy your life. The courts don't care, just like that lying heifer who did that to him didn't care. And then the state lawmaker, he was pushing for state legislation to at least make it illegal for women to lie. But his opponents don't want to put that in place because they want to protect the mothers and not make them uncomfortable if they don't want to reveal the real father. When it comes to the victims of paternity fraud, the men, they don't care how they made him uncomfortable. They don't care about how they stressed him out. They don't care about how they made this woman, his wife, uncomfortable, and how they stressed her out when they sent that letter to their house, sent the letter to their job, ran her husband's name through the streets. Nah, they don't care about that. They're protecting a scammer, a criminal.
I tell you, Joshua, the common sense goes out the window. I'd be more than happy to put that bill in, and I'm telling you, it wouldn't even get a hearing in committee. I'll guarantee it wouldn't even get a hearing in committee. I ran across this before.
And the only reason I believe that this woman came in was because of Fox 2. Fox 2 provided a platform where the word got out, and this word spread it like wildfire quickly to the point where the lady came in. Now I asked the courts, the friend of the courts, about bringing her in. They said, well, we just have to wait until she comes in.
It's really a shame. Apparently, he contacted the news back in January to get the word out about this paternity fraud that the FOC didn't even care about. They're telling him in order for him to clear his name, he was just going to have to wait on the woman to cooperate. Meanwhile, they sent garnishment letters to his job. This is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm happy that the reporter here, Joshua with Fox 2 in Detroit, picked up this story because mainstream, traditional media, they don't care about stories like this.
But I thank God that Fox 2 provided a platform where the lady was able to come in, but everybody does not have that opportunity for Fox 2 to show up at their doorstep to help them out.
A lot to wrap your head around, guys. Real quick, as we did in our initial story, we called front of the court for a comment but have not heard back. In the meantime, Senator Jim Runstead tells me if you're caught in a similar situation, your best option is to hire an attorney if possible.
And this is where I disagree with the lawmaker. The lawmaker told Josh, the reporter, that if they got into a situation like this, to hire a lawyer. I just don't understand, why should a man who is a victim have to go in his pockets, take his money from his own endeavors, whatever he's doing, his wife, his children, thousands of dollars. Think about it. What would he have to give up to afford an attorney? What would his wife have to give up? Their children. And he's getting the attorney not for his own actions, but because of a lying scammer. That could take thousands of dollars. This is just crazy. And then they found out this woman lied and nothing happens to her. The court had no problem rushing to hold him accountable, but for her, zero accountability. Zero.
Also, and this is very key, reach out to your lawmakers. The senator says more bipartisanship is much needed on this very touchy matter.
It could destroy a whole relationship. I mean, luckily, here's a guy that has, you know,
he has a solid household.
That's very
Right.
I mean, some people would have packed up and left and said, I just don't believe you. You could have destroyed a life.
Bingo.
Unbelievable story. For them to send that to work. Can you imagine if you worked at a certain place and the rumors would start to spread?
Yes.
I mean, it is potentially not only family
definition of character in the public eye.
But your character and your life.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine how frustrated that family was while they were trying to get answers.
Highly frustrated, Amy and Jay. Highly frustrated because, again, you're getting an inquiry about your finances without even confirmation if you're connected to this particular case.
Yeah, where's the proof? Wow.
A lot more dialogue is needed on this matter in Lansing, for sure.
Thanks for bringing that to light.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
All of that 100% true. They all made great points. Shout out to Josh, the reporter, Fox 2 Detroit. The anchor there was absolutely right. You have some women out there who will go crazy if this came to their doorsteps. Immediately, they would not believe him. They would run away right away. But that's why women have to wait, get all the information, think logically before reacting with emotions. So shout out to his wife as well. They got through this and the truth was revealed. My thing is, why is that scammer in this case, the mother? How was she able to put this man through the courts, drag him all across the front courtyard of the courthouse, all through the metal detectors, up and down the halls where he had to go and fight her false accusations against him to people who didn't even care at all? She gave up his name, but her name is protected. This should be a crime, a felony. It should be considered criminal activity everywhere. Mr. Smith here should also be able to sue her, sue the FOC as well, and win a judgment for her lying and for them protecting her. This woman is able to walk away free after all she's done here, all the emotional distress that she caused his man, his wife, his family. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started below in the comments. What's going to have to happen here for men to get laws to hold women accountable for paternity fraud? Special thank you to Dwayne. I appreciate you for all of your support. And shout out to SL. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.